Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Great. Well, before we jump in, we know that, Kim, you've got some great things going on at NCI. So why don't we start off and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, actually, I was born and raised here in Henry County, and I'm still here as of today. I've never left.
Great.
So I love this area. It's me.
Great. Well, and tell us a little bit about your community involvement. I know I don't think you've quite reached your 1 year mark at NCI.
No, that'll be in March.
In March, yeah.
Yes.
And before that, you worked for a long time with Bassett.
I worked for Bassett Furniture for 26 years, and I also managed their Bassett train station depot for a while, and I really enjoyed that. I met a bunch of people. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was really interesting. And I just love things for the community. The community come together is what I enjoy.
Yeah. And in your personal life, you're pretty crafty, right?
I try.
I've seen some of the wreaths that you've had at the office.
I try a little bit. I'm not sure about if it is crafty.
Oh, that's great. Well, and I know that is coming handy with the LIFE program, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and some of the great things we have lined up there. But before we get started into the main portion of the show, why don't you tell us about your work at NCI over the past almost year?
Okay. Well, currently I rent out the lecture hall that is actually one huge, gorgeous room, and it can seat up to 268 people. I'm sorry, 268, but it can also be divided in thirds. So if you want 1/3, 2/3, or the full lecture hall, we can accommodate whichever your need is. We can also have different price levels. As far as we have a basic package, a standard, and a premium. Standard, you can have your table and chairs, or if you want to go up, you can add audio visual, or you can actually go up as high as offering a catering kitchen for offering food warming. And we just have different areas that you can sit in. We have the drop-down screens. We also, I rent out the classrooms. We have several different classrooms that can accommodate different sizes. And of course, those are on first come, first served basis. And we always, try to accommodate everyone that calls.
Yeah, that includes like room setup. People want the U shape or the circle or
whatever they want, we will accommodate.
That's great. And I know also like with the event rentals, we always have security on staff. We have customer service, which you manage as well. We have IT support, that kind of thing. Are there any other parts of the lecture and classroom facilities that make NCI particularly unique? I know we don't have a lot of spaces like this in the community.
No, that's what I hear mostly is just how beautiful the building is and how accommodating everyone is. If you have a need while you're there, our customer service, security, whoever's there is willing to help.
Yeah, we're always all hands on deck.
Yes.
That's great. Well, and as you've been over the past year managing events at NCI, are there particular types of groups that you see more often than others, like nonprofits versus like state government?
Actually, we have a mix of everything. I mean, we just had a wedding reception that we held, and it was gorgeous. And we can have anything from a luncheon to birthday parties, where we don't have really one set that people come to.
Yeah, it's adaptable to about anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, this morning when I pulled into the parking lot, I had a hard time finding a parking spot, and I was like, what in the world's going on? And sure enough, I think it was like Department of Criminal Justice Services was having a training in the lecture hall. Yeah, so
if you come by and you see a lot of police cars, don't think nothing's going on.
Right, we have had to make a couple posts about that.
Yes.
With our law enforcement trainings and different graduations. We'll have every cop in a 50-mile radius. That's great. Well, awesome. Well, any other kind of high-level things you want to touch on about your work as the events coordinator before we cut to our commercial break?
Well, if you are trying to get in touch with me to ask me questions, a lot of times I'm not at my desk, but I also have a work cell phone number that is listed, I believe, on the website. So you can also call that and leave me a message, and I'll return your call.
Very good. Well, as I've said, this is Kim Mize, Events and Administrative Program Coordinator at NCI. She manages all of our lecture halls, our classroom spaces, does a great job. We're going to get more into the bulk of that after we return from our commercial break. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you to NCI's Event and Administrative Program Coordinator, Kim Mize, for joining us here today. In the first segment, we talked a little bit about Kim's work managing our lecture hall and classroom facilities. Kim also coordinates our life program as well, which we'll get into more in the third segment. So Kim, why don't you tell us a little bit more about event rentals at NCI? I know in the first part of the show, we talked about, the capacity, room versatility, that kind of thing. What are some of the packages like?
Well, for instance, we have rates that will start off with a basic package, and that is, of course, your table and chairs, but we are able to have either rectangle chairs, rectangle tables or circle tables, whichever your preference is. We can also sit 8 to a table, and all of that is included in your basic package. If you move it up to a standard, of course, you have your table and chairs, but you also have your audio-visual equipment. And we have anything from podiums to handheld wireless mics. We even have lapel mics that you can use. Then you can go to our premium package, which includes all of that, as well as the kitchen that we have. It has industrial dishwasher, it has refrigerator, freezers, it has industrial sink, ice makers, as well as the warming units that you can put the food in.
Pretty much everything but like the stove and oven, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense. And so I know that we also have a stage. Does that come with all packages?
That does not. We rent that per piece. The stage, you can do it they are in 4x4 increments, and each piece is an add-on. So you decide how big you want the stage, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, I've seen those, for several, I feel like from graduations to, if there's like a forum and you have multiple speakers,
And we can make the stage very large or very small. It's whatever your preference is. We also do tablecloths, but that, of course, is an extra fee as well.
Yeah.
We can also do chairs that were actually donated to us.
Oh.
I'm not sure if you've seen those before. They're the gold.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we can do those, but of course that's an extra fee as well. Some people like those because the color.
A little bit more dressed up.
Exactly. But like I said, we're versatile to whatever anyone really wants.
Yeah. I mean, from a baby shower to a corporate event to a
Exactly.
conference or a forum, it's really adaptable
we've
to
had
everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And so we got a lot of versatility in terms of package options, how you can have your room set up, pretty comprehensive in terms of all of the amenities that come with the event, chairs, tables, audio, visual, all of that. But so say someone's listening right now and they're like, oh, this sounds like what I need for my event. We mentioned earlier how they can, try to get in touch with you.
Right.
What's the best way to go through the registration process?
The best way is to go on NCI's website, and they have the link that you can go in, and it automatically sends me all your information that you input, and it will ask for your name, date of the event, what you're looking for, and then I take it from there.
Yeah.
And if you have trouble, just so happen with that, because sometimes you do have trouble with the website, you can still give me a call. Or if you just want to give me a call to see if that date is available, I'll be more than happy to let you know.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's some people that are like, I'm not going to go through the steps of filling this all out if my date's not even there.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, great. Excuse me, a little bit of a seasonal congestion there. But so tell me about the bookings. Where are we at in terms of
Well, for
reservations?
the 2025 year, we only have 4 to 5 Saturdays that are open.
Oh, wow.
We are booked every Saturday through the whole year of 2025.
Every Saturday?
Every Saturday.
Oh my gosh, it's only February.
I know.
That's great.
And I keep getting phone calls, but it's already booked. So if you want to make a reservation, please call early.
Yeah. Well, that is great to know. I mean, every Saturday.
It's busy.
Very busy. Well, you heard that, folks. If you need a weekend rental, there's maybe a weekend left.
Maybe and maybe not.
So get in touch with Kim as soon as possible if you have any big events that are happening on a weekend and you need a space, because we might be looking at 2026 here pretty soon.
Exactly. Because, I mean, I failed to mention earlier, we also host a lot of proms.
Oh, right. And we got
And that's getting
several of
ready
those
to come
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And if they ever need a tour, they can just stop by.
Yeah.
So,
Happy to do that. Give you a tour of the lecture hall, the high bay, everything.
exactly.
Great. Well, thank you so much for this information, Kim. When we return for our commercial break, we're going to discuss the Life Learning is Forever classes and other events at NCI. Thank you. Welcome back to What's Happening at NCI, and thank you to NCI's Event and Administrative Program Coordinator, Kim Mize, for joining us today. Earlier, we talked about our event rentals for our lecture hall and classroom spaces, and today, in this section, we're going to talk about the program that Kim coordinates, LIFE. It stands for Learning is Forever. This program was established thanks to the generous support of Miss Barbara Matthews, and it's designed to foster lively, fun engagement with a focus on topics and resources available in Martinsville and Henry County. So Kim, can you tell us a little bit more about the LIFE program and how you are working to develop these course offerings?
Absolutely. Actually, I love to have community engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I love for different sections of the area to come together, because a lot of people don't know each other.
Yeah.
You know, so this way it gives them a chance to learn about each other and also have fun and participate in activities. And I think that is the best for a community can offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about, what's coming up on the 25-26 LIFE calendar and how people can participate.
Okay. So far, I just have a few things listed for 2025. For February, which is Heart Health Month, we actually had 2 classes, which is hands-only CPR. And we've offered those. It's not a certification class, but it still is better in case someone has trouble. You're just not standing there. You're actually trying to save a life. And actually, our last class on that was tonight, because we had to reschedule because, of course, the weather. And then I'm trying to do at least 2, maybe 3 per month. And I don't want to go too far in advance because I'm afraid people will forget what's offered. So for March 15th, I have Introduction to Sign Language.
Ooh.
And that has been such an overwhelming response.
I bet.
We've actually had to increase the maximum number of people to attend so others can get off the wait list to attend.
Wow.
But we are at the max right now. But hopefully we'll get to have it again in the future. Or have section 1, section 2. You never know what's
like
offered.
an advanced course.
Exactly. And then, of course, on March 22nd, we're having glass etching. You just bring your own glass and you pick out the design and you learn how to etch your own glass.
Ooh.
So that's interesting too. You can do a glass, you can do a mug. And we have the specifications, all the sign-up information on our website as well.
That's
to
awesome.
do that. And then in April 12th, we are having Mommy and Me hairstyling class.
Oh.
And that is Hair by Heather, who will be doing that. And it's, to me, I just think it brings a bond between a mother and child, especially when it's a girl and you can fix her little hair.
Right.
And everything. I just think it's so cute. And it's something that everybody can attend.
I know that, with my daughter, I'm always looking for new little styles that keeps the hair out of her face and is cute. So that'd be great, and right in time for all the spring events and Mother's Day, Easter, that kind of thing. That's great. And now for the glass etching and the sign language, did you mention who the instructors are for those?
The sign language is Scott Goobert.
Okay.
And he actually is with Patrick and Henry. And I'm not sure if you remember him or not. He's come over for a few meetings at NCI.
Great.
And then Brian Stanley with ILR.
Okay. In
is the one
Danville,
Yes, is the one who's doing the glass etching.
Very cool. Well, that's great.
And then Margaret Perkins with Perkins Medical, she's the one who does the CPR.
Oh,
the
well, very
hands-on.
good. Yes, yes. Well, those are great classes for anybody. Anybody can take these classes, right?
Anybody. And I'm always asking if you have a subject or something you think will be interesting, give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to see
Yeah.
what I can do.
That's awesome. And so there's any age can sign up. Is there any cost to attend these?
Some of them are at cost, but it's minimal. The most we have right now for a class is, I think, $10 a person.
Okay, yeah, that's affordable.
So reasonable, yes.
And
very
the
reasonable.
classes usually last like an hour, 2 hours.
It just depends. The sign language class, it can go from an hour to 2 hours. It just depends because they don't want to be rushed.
Right.
The glass etching is about an hour. And then the CPR classes usually are an hour. And I also want to say we do have the blood drive. Please consider donating blood.
Yeah, that's
We
crucial.
have 2 of those, one in May and one in July. And they seriously need the blood donation.
Yeah.
And then like the Mommy and Me hairstyle, and that is 2 hours because it's all hands-on.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And the materials are provided.
Very good. All right, so people can register online for
Yes.
these classes, low cost to attend, just a couple hour commitment, and they get to walk away with some great skills. I mean, I saw on some job report the other day that I was looking at saying that CPR next to like Microsoft Office skills is like one of the number one things that employers look for when they're hiring.
Correct.
Which I thought was really interesting because frankly, up until I came to NCI, I had never taken a CPR course, and I now have, which is very helpful to know about. I guess I did take one when I was pregnant, like a prenatal one. But yeah, so I think that's great. That's very relevant for anybody and everybody. You know, everybody should know CPR. You never know
Definitely.
what's going to happen. You could be in a Walmart and someone has an emergency. You
And
could
you
be at
just
your
don't
house.
want to stand there.
And yeah, you want to know what steps you can take to help. So that's great. Well, good. So we've got the life classes coming up. Other than that, we have a lot of exciting opportunities happening at NCI over the next couple weeks. Our after-school programs are in full force. We have Kid Win that's still meeting every Monday and Tuesday. If you're interested and have an elementary or middle school student, you can look on our website, newcollegeinstitute.org. We're also in the middle of our 2025 season for our first robotics team, Stags Team 1262. They're building their robot and practicing for their first competition that's coming up later this month. So if you have a high school age student who's interested, you can also learn more about that on our website. Dollars and Cents is coming up this Thursday and Friday in our lecture hall. If you missed the show a couple weeks back, we had United Way's Lisa Frick. She was on the show talking about Dollars and Cents. It's for area high school students. They'll be coming to NCI to participate in a reality fair and learn about the costs associated with real life and other financial literacy skills. Fiber optic training, that's coming up March 3rd. And then we have our next basic safety with sea survival for our wind energy program. That's coming up March 10th. And both of these classes are week-long certifications, and there's only a few seats left, so register today before they're full. There is tuition assistance that's available, and you can visit our website, as I said, newcollegeinstitute.org, on how to apply to that. And then finally, NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, they have their family-to-family support group on Tuesday, March 11th at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining us today, Kim. I'm sorry that my congestion and coughing has been throughout the show, but I think a lot of people are dealing with the seasonal allergies
Definitely.
and shift in the weather. Do you have any final words for us before we wrap up the show for today?
I would love for people to come by and visit us to see what all we do offer. Because if you do not come, I mean, you don't know what you could really find.
Yeah.
I think NCI has a lot to offer.
Yeah, if you have a meeting of 5 people or a meeting of 300 people,
Exactly.
we got you covered. Well, that's great. Well, and thank you to everybody for tuning in to our latest episode of What's Happening at NCI. You can always visit our website, newcollegeinstitute.org, for more information on our programs. And of course, you can also follow us on social media as well for the most up-to-date information. And we will see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.